Renju!
More thorough autopsy results of Renju's body have revealed something. An object in his intestines.
Well, what was it?
Shoko Nadami's eyeball.
I raised my child at the expense of my own life. But one little slap.
Are you hitting your kid?
There's nothing I can do. I have no choice. I know you should never raise your hand to a child. I know that. But I have a good reason. She doesn't listen to me, so what else am I supposed to do? And it's so irritating that I have to hit her again to get her to stop. And Mizuki cries and cries some more. Why are you crying? If you're gonna cry, why didn't you just listen to me in the first place? Then I wouldn't have to hit you.
I have a company now.
Lemniscate.
And we're at a crucial stage of development. I can't take even a single second out of my day to deal with a kid.
Hey, that's your daughter you're talking about. Maybe because you two can't cooperate on raising a child, Shoko is having trouble coping.
That might be it. Maybe this is partially my fault.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna say it. You two are both awful parents. Damn it.
Pathetic. Killed by your own father. By the way, do you like fireworks? Let me show you the most beautiful firework you'll ever see. But don't blink. It'll only be a flash.
How do you like these fireworks?
What?
I just want to go to the cabaret club.
What? What? What did you say? Hey, quit fooling around. Come on. Date, get up. Hey. Hey, Date, wake up. Come on, wake up. What happened to your promise? You can't tell me you forgot. You promised, Date. We're supposed to eat stew. Are you gonna break your promise? You're not gonna take me? That's not fair, Date. You liar. And God's a liar, too. I prayed at the shrine. I prayed that you wouldn't get hurt. But... Date, wake up! Everyone is worried about you!
You shouldn't come to me. Go be with your parents.
What?
You have...
Date, please, wake up!
I am not what you need. Mizuki. Thank you, Mizuki.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Somnium Files Explained. Previously, we covered the events of the Mizuki and Ota endings. I heavily recommend you check out those videos for continuing on this one, as we may reference previous events and place things together with new context. Once again, I want to thank the fine folks over at the Somnium Files Wiki for the collective gathering of the information that we're going to be discussing today. The route that we're going to be tackling is known colloquially as the Green Route, and features the events right here. Following up on previous events, this story branches off during the Somnium with Iris when Date was questioning her knowledge on the murder of Renju Okiura. Previously, the events of the Somnium, dubbed Sink In the Vein, had Date ruining a set of 5 childhood drawings by drawing disturbing levels of violence over different animals. However, the path we choose this time is we are witnessing a murder, and then through the continuous actions, gonna recreate said murders.
Stop!
What is this video?
It is difficult to believe, but these are the faces of the victims of the original Cyclops killer.
What? What is going on here? Iris, what are you hiding?
We should continue. There are more objects to inspect now. That video showed the face of a victim of the original Cyclops killer. It appeared to be the second victim.
What is going on? Iris has something to do with the first Cyclops case?
Unknown. I do not have enough information.
Guess that means we have to investigate more.
Indeed. Please. Help me. Help me. This was the third victim of the original Cyclops killer.
Why does Iris know that?
There is a possibility that she saw it online or on TV.
She even reproduced the circumstances of the killing. Would her imagination explain that?
Date, we have no direct evidence. For now, we must continue investigating.
Right.
That is...
Date discusses his findings with boss and Pewter when he wakes up from the Somnium. He's understandably concerned at seeing his own reflection in Iris' memories concerning the original Cyclops killings, but the both of them don't find it important, with Pewter asserting that he doesn't believe there to be a connection between the original and the new killings, but he had no explanation for why these events would be in Iris' Somnium.
Didn't I tell you? The entire case is a state secret. No matter how many times you ask, I won't tell you anything.
The Cyclops killer appeared 6 years ago. I lost my memory 6 years ago. There has to be some kind of connection.
There isn't. It's a coincidence.
Really?
Really. You can't dream of something you know nothing about.
That means Iris must know about the killings.
6 years ago, Iris was 12.
Did she witness the crime at age 12? And not just one, but all four?
I don't believe there's any meaningful connection between the original and new Cyclops serial killings, I mean.
Why is that?
The culprit is not the same. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes.
How can you be so sure?
Because I can. Don't worry about it. Just trust me. The Sinker does not always experience the somnium they expect. Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones. When using the sync machine for an investigation, we don't always see the memories we expect to see. True, oftentimes the subject will subconsciously want to express their dark secrets and repressed memories. That is why we see them so often in Somnia, and why those Somnia are so useful for criminal investigations. But this is not a guarantee. We cannot control the content of our dreams, after all. Remember what the boss said this morning. The original Cyclops killer has yet to be brought to justice. After the investigation got going, it was taken over by the government and classified. That was the last we heard anything about it. Of course, they paid lip service to the idea that the investigation was ongoing, but in reality, it was dropped completely.
In the Somnium earlier, I saw someone else who might be the criminal. Who was he?
I wouldn't know. It's like I told you before. Dreams are pieced together from memories, even repressed subconscious ones. This can be expressed as an equation. Dream D equals memory A plus memory B plus memory C. This, of course, means that Dream D is a fictional event. However, the same cannot necessarily be said about memory A, B, and C. Those happened in reality. In other words, fiction is built from combinations of reality.
So what I saw in Somnium earlier...
Yes, I believe Iris actually witnessed those events.
Pewter, you said that memories happened in reality, right? But what about false memories? How do we know if the memory really happened?
Even false memories are built from the pieces of real ones. If you disassemble those pieces, you will find real events.
What about things you see in movies or television?
The events might be fictional, but the experience is not. Our imaginations are limited to what we have seen. We cannot invent something whole cloth.
Date then asks Iris what she knows about the original killings, but she says that she'd only heard about it from the news. Unfortunately, they are unable to hold her any longer and are forced to let her leave. Boss and Peter ask Date to take Iris back home. On the way back, Iris asks Date to take him back to Marble so she can talk with him about something. Date agrees and the two head toward Marble. The pair find Ota inside, who tells them that Mama had to step out and asked him to watch the bar. And judging based on what happened in a previous timeline, we got a sus alert! Ota says that he got a new phone and came to Marble when Iris messaged him about heading there. Finding a good opportunity to bring up the Nile message to Ota about that thing, Date begins to ask Ota, but then he's attacked, and Ota knocks him out with a stun gun, a move that disables Aiba in the process. Oh, that's why this chapter's called stupid. Date wakes up groggily early the next morning. Mama relays to Date that Ota was gone by the time she had arrived, and that she was unable to wake him up. Date then gets a call from Boss to let him know that the new Cyclops killer was streaming, and from our previous ventures, we know they're streaming from the Okiura Fishery Warehouse District. The difference now is Date's at Marble, and not at Ota's, so he's much farther from the source of the livestream than before. He hurries off to make it to the warehouse, but unfortunately, he's too late.
No!
Stop!
Back at Abyss HQ, Date and Boss go over the details of the case with the new events in tow. Boss mentions that HQ made the determination that Ota was responsible for the murder-suicide, by killing Iris and then himself. But this doesn't sit well with Date. He then goes over the list of all the people who had connections with the victims. Mizuki was the closest to the both of them, but because of her age, she would have found it very difficult to kill the both of them. Although it is to be noted that from our previous exploration through her route, she does have the strength of my grandfather's genes. Though we do have to take into account this would mean she would have killed both of her parents and her two best friends. Mayumi definitely would have had motive to kill Renju and Iris, but as previously explored in Ota's route, she cannot lie to save her life. Much less the fact that she's currently suffering from late-stage dementia. Momo Kumakura had connections to both Shoko and Renju, but it's unknown if any connection to Iris and Ota. Much can also be said of So Sejima. Date even goes so far to consider himself, but knows he has no memories of the murders of Renju, Shoko, or the pair. Date then moves to investigate further and stops off first at the warehouse. Here he confirms details we learned in another route. The laptop and camera could not be traced back to the buyer, the killer had easy access to the warehouse's Wi-Fi, and the fishery was founded by Renju's father in the Okira name, though Renju himself never owned it.
Date, I have to talk to you about something.
Huh?
About the original Cyclops serial killings.
Why this all of a sudden?
Because I want you to solve this case, Mr. Date. I want you to find who did this and bring them to justice. So, if I can help you, even a little...
Why didn't you say anything at Abyss?
The boss was there. I couldn't speak openly in front of her. So, I decided to meet you here.
Alright, let's hear it.
Earlier, I told you that I was completely certain the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes. Let me explain why. I'll start by telling you the identity of the Cyclops killer. Although, it's more accurate to say, killers.
More than one?
In the first series of killings, the culprit had an accomplice. One of them was born a murderous psychopath. The other is Rohan Kumakura, the previous chairman of the Kumakuras. They each had a role to play. The murderer committed the homicide, and Rohan removed the eyeball. He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oxytocin is a peptide hormone linked to feelings of love, affection, and trust. It is colloquially referred to as the love hormone. It causes a tranquilizing effect which improves mood and relieves stress. It is normally secreted when the body makes contact with an object of affection, such as an embrace or caress.
I'm sure you know what this implies, but he was unable to feel love in the way that we do. However, he was able to experience a substitute. His brain was wired in such a way that allowed him to feel satisfaction through other means. Due to the unique idiosyncrasies of his brain, he was able to release large amounts of dopamine and endorphins by performing a certain action.
What was it?
Murder.
Dopamine is a hormone linked to the reward system of the brain. The pleasant feeling attained through accomplishment is dopamine. Endorphins are a kind of brain narcotic. They dull pain and create a feeling of happiness.
He got pleasure from killing people?
It's slightly more complicated than that. Killing people was the only way he could get pleasure. He was 12 when he took his first life. That enlightened him to the pleasure of murder, which he would do again and again. 18 years ago, Rohan took a woman's eye. She was already dead. He put his finger into her eye socket and gouged it out. The reason why was simple. He was fascinated by women's eyes. Their beauty stimulated his greed and his desire to possess them. He needed to have them, to make them his own. Driven by this instinctive impulse, he took the woman's eye. From then on, he acquired a grotesque obsession with the eyes of dead women. He was very particular about his need that the eye belonged to a deceased woman. But even being the head of a Yakuza gang, there weren't too many opportunities for him to indulge. His deepest, darkest desire went unfulfilled for years. However, he soon met his ideal partner, the aforementioned psychopath. The Cyclops killer would commit the murder, and Rohan would take the eye. Thus, a mutually beneficial relationship was established. This was the origin of the Cyclops serial killings. At about the same time, you were assigned to Abyss.
If that name seems familiar, then you have earned a gold star. Rohan Kumakura is the older brother of Momo Kumakura, who used to be the leader of the Kumakura gang until a year ago, where he was hospitalized for an accident and has since committed suicide. So, realizing now that one of the killers is dead, Date asks about the current status of the other, and it was a fact that Peter had said it was impossible that the original Cyclops serial killers were behind the new killings. Peter reveals that the other is currently serving a life sentence in Fuchu prison. After finishing with Peter, Date travels back to the Matsushita diner and his home. There, he finds Mayumi, who blames him for Ota going to the warehouse, and a depressed Mizuki respectively. Date sits with her and asks Aiba to contact Abyss to find her a good counselor. Following through, Date travels to the Saga residence where he speaks with Hitomi. She reminisces on racing Iris since she was a baby, and that Ota was one of her students previously. She also makes mention of meeting with Shoko that happened in the waiting room of Fuchu Prison. That's not suspicious. Hitomi hugs Date and begs him to catch the killer. Date heads out to Marble Neck to speak with Mama, who discusses the Kumakura's connection to the killings. She says that they were rumored to be behind the chemical plant explosions that shut the Matsushita diner down previously. Date then heads out and discusses the possibilities with Aiba, heading back to Abyss HQ to find Boss not present. Date says that their best lead was the inmate in the original serial killings, dubbed Prisoner Number 89, which was a term all the way back from the original reveal trailer. Go figure. Number 89 is brought to the Abyss interrogation room and is unwilling to provide any personal details about himself, but does confirm that he is one half of the original Cyclops killers. He does admit that he also had previously met Shoko when she came to visit him in prison, but that's all he's willing to divulge. He says he can reveal more, but only if he's able to be released from prison. Obviously a dangerous offer, but Date doesn't see any other way he'll get the information he needs. Date agrees, and number 89 begins to tell the story of a man called F.
Once upon a time, there was a detective, full of righteous justice. Let's call him F. F found the evils of the world intolerable. F had no parents, no siblings, and grew up in an orphanage since he was born. He suffered every kind of abuse imaginable there. It led him to despise all the evils of the world. One day, F was chasing a thug down at the harbor. Someone wanted for the assault and murder of women.
Okay, I get it. I'll just throw down my knife. Here. And you lower your gun. It's fine. I got nothing else on me. I'll go quietly. You know, I have a history with hospitals. I've been going to a special hospital for a while. Even if I get caught, it's all good. I'll come right back out again. What should I do next time? Just thinking about it gets me excited.
The culprit was unarmed, but F never served a day in prison. The case went to trial for some time, but it was determined to be self-defense, and he was declared innocent. If the truth got out, it would be a huge scandal for the police. People at the upper level were terrified of what might happen, so they had evidence fabricated. F wasn't suspended or disciplined at all. After a while, he returned to his job like nothing happened. That was a turning point for him. He was ready to shed the morality that was weighing him down, holding him back. F still wanted justice, and he was willing to dispense it to the immoral one by one. He became an assassin, a lone gunman, no agent, no employer. He was his own man. F believed that he was judge, jury, and executioner, but it didn't last long. One day, F got rid of a criminal we'll call X. X was responsible for defrauding and killing an innocent old man for his life insurance policy. Turns out, X had connections. Someone wasn't happy that he died. Rohan Kumakura, chairman of the Kumakuras. X was a top executive of the Kumakuras at the time. Rohan ordered his men to find and kidnap F.
I've done some research. I know you've cleaned up at least 18 pieces of scum from this earth. But somehow there hasn't been a single criminal investigation. They're all treated as suicides, accidents, or natural causes. Amazing work. I'm impressed. How about you work for us? Of course, you have the right to say no. But it'll be the last word out of your mouth.
F was trapped. Even if he somehow survived, he would be looking over his shoulder for the rest of his life. He had no choice but to take Rohan's offer. Thus, F's self-employment came to an end. He became a hired gun of the Kumakuras. Rohan even gave him a code name, Falco, named for the falcon, a bird of prey. Falco didn't quit his job as a police officer, though. He worked as a detective by day, assassin by night at the will of the organization. An ordinary killer would need motive to take a life, but not Falco. He did as he was told, one target after another. It didn't take long to destroy his heart completely. Time passed, and a few years back, Falco, who by this time was exhausted in body and spirit, made a fatal mistake. He missed his mark and ended up taking a bullet to the stomach. Somehow, he managed to escape. After reaching a nearby shrine, his legs finally gave out under him. He had no strength left. He put his back up against the shrine and let out a moaning breath that he thought might be his last. But at that moment, In his darkening vision, he saw a woman approach him. He watched her take out her phone and dial for help. At the same time, he heard footsteps. Footsteps of at least 2 people closing in. He knew immediately that they were after him. He sprung into action, grabbing the woman and pulling her close, kissing her to keep her from talking. That was the first encounter between Falco and the woman. She was a teacher at some school. It was like she was from a totally different world than him. Listening to her talk, he would forget everything about his line of work. She was his only contact with the ordinary, mundane world. They met in secret a few more times, and Falco felt his heart grow warmer. Her smile and kindness were like a cold glass of water for Falco's parched heart. Falco started to become himself again, his former self. He swore on his life that from then on, he would live for her.
So, you want to go clean? Fine. Do as you please. You've done a lot for us. But there is one last thing. One final job I want you to do for me. It's nothing major. This woman and her daughter. I need you to dispose of them. Should be simple, no?
Rohan handed Falco a picture of a woman and a girl. It was the teacher Falco met at the shrine. And her daughter. She had just turned 12. Why the 2 of them? Rohan, as usual, never gave a reason. And Falco had no intention of carrying out the kill. But if he didn't, he knew that someone else would. He thought long and hard. How was he going to keep them safe and get out of the life of crime? He couldn't find an answer, no matter how hard he thought. He was backed into a corner. So, he decided to call on an old friend for help. And then...
Number 89 finishes, and says he's not going to say any more until the release procedures are cleared. Date doesn't think that number 89 is going to hold him to his word if he does, so he turns to Peter and asks him to start preparations to sync with him. Over in the sync room, number 89 is put to sleep and we begin the process, notably with Boss still nowhere to be found. So, we're back to familiar sightings. This is the same Somnium we began this whole journey with, Date's own Somnium. And if you recall from earlier events in the story, this is the Saga on residence. Aiba and Date work together to protect Hitomi inside the home, as an invader is threatening their presence now constantly. But unfortunately, it is too late.
Whose skull was...
Unknown.
Who is that?
You're out of time.
What do I do? No! Stop!
Stop right there!
Date wakes up, and as soon as he does, confronts Peter, who also rushes to tell Date that So Sajima's body was found murdered. If we remember the previous history, we were the ones to find So Sajima's body stuffed in an urn inside his house. Like the others, his left eye had been removed. Date heads back to Abyss HQ to question Boss about her affiliation with Rohan and Falco. At HQ, though, he doesn't find Boss, but instead...
Aiba, can you hack this PC?
I will try. Unlocked. Logging in. I have recovered some video data. It was uploaded only a few hours ago.
Open it.
That is...
Sosajima.